one accidental kiss. We try our best to do this. Analyze Asian dramas and not relive the trauma. Now that you know what's in store, just sit back and tune in more. Please enjoy our podcast, Accidental Kiss.
Welcome to Accidental Kiss. On this podcast, we analyze the representation or lack thereof in Asian dramas from the perspective of drama fans. I'm Watanya, I am Lao/Laotian, whichever term you prefer, and I basically grew up with Asian dramas.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Faith. I'm a Black U.S. citizen who was maybe a little too obsessed with Asian dramas in her college days, but now wants to rekindle her love for them through this podcast.
In our second episode, we're going to take a look at a Thai drama that has been remade 7 times.
7 times? Whoa.
Yep.
Why?
Let's leave that for a future episode, possibly. But we are talking about the 2008 remake of Jam Loey Rak, or Love Slave.
Wow. What a name. Doesn't sound problematic at all.
Not at all. Not at all. Especially to a Black American. Yeah, not at all. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't find that problematic at all. Totally fine.
I mean, it could also be it could also be translated as prisoner of love or like defendant of love. But like, I think love slave, wordplay on sex slave, is a more accurate translation. Like, considering what the story is about.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. Unfortunately.
Oh, and also, because this drama sparked such a long conversation, we will be dividing this into 2 parts.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Ugh. So, before we move on, we will be discussing the entirety of many characters. So, spoilers ahead.
Also, we will be discussing physical and emotional abuse, kidnapping, sexual assault, self-harm, attempted suicide, actual suicide, stalking, and forced servitude in this episode.
So, if you're sensitive to any of these issues, which is definitely understandable, please prioritize your mental health and overall well-being.
Yes, it's gonna be quite a ride. So, you can always come back to us when you're emotionally ready.
Also, please be aware that we will be using the word rape in this episode because, 1, it occurs in this drama, and 2, we think that the act itself should be completely condemned, not the word.
And since our podcast is under the explicit category, we won't be pulling punches for any fucking rapists!
Yeah! Okay. So, before we get into the summary, let's tell our listeners why we're discussing this drama. So, Watanya, why did you choose this drama?
Oh boy. That's a very good question. I suppose I chose it because it's one of the Thai dramas that I grew up with. I watched it when it originally aired in 2008, and fun fact, I learned the word jealous from it.
Well, at least you got something positive out of this show.
Yeah, someone's got But the bigger reason is that it's considered a classic Thai drama alongside Sawan Biang or Divine Deviation. I think this one has a more solid story than the other one. And also it's like 3 times shorter and the lead is less of a bitch.
Do you mean the female lead or the male lead?
Oh, the male lead.
Oh, wow. Oh, I can't believe they made a character worse than the male lead in Love Slave. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy is great in the looks department. But in everything else, though, I mean, he does actually rape the female lead. How can you be worse of a person than that? Like, what did this other guy do? Kill a baby?
Well,
Oh God.
he kidnaps and repeatedly raped his aunt-in-law.
What?
Because, wait for it, his dad married someone he doesn't like.
Oh my god.
Oh, and he's also a huge slap kisser.
Oh god. Ugh.
Yep, more about the slap kiss later. Or, if you saw our Trope Tuesday, you know what the slap kiss is.
I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know what to say to that. Like, just wow. Like, they really know how to pick them for these shows. Oh, yeah, really know how to pick those male leads.
But before things take an even darker turn...
Is that possible?
You never know. You never know. Let's start with a summary of the series. Because context is crucial. We really need everyone to know why we're saying everything through our teeth.
Yes. Okay. Let's see if we can get this all. Yeah, if we can get all of this in. A lot, and I mean a lot, happens in this show. The story is about a woman named Soraya who lives with her aunt, uncle, and cousin. Soraya is treated like a maid there, but tolerates it because she has vowed to do anything for the cousin who she believes saved her life as a child, the beautiful Sansani. Sansani dates a lot of men as a means to increase her own wealth and status.
One of the men Sansani dated was Harin. Harin went to the same university as her and Soraya. However, Sansani breaks up with Harin before the start of the story. Harin was unable to bear the heartbreak and commits suicide in the beginning of the series. Harin's brother, Harit, tracks down Sansani based on the photo that Harin left in his diary and kidnaps her. Yeah. However, the one Harit kidnapped is actually Soraya. She tries to tell Harit several times that her name is Soraya, but why would he listen? He just wouldn't listen. Anyway, Harit takes Soraya to his private island in southern Thailand and basically enslaves her.
It was quite uncomfortable to watch.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I mean, Harit forces Soraya to basically start a farm to feed herself. And after Soraya fails to escape several times, he fucking rapes her!
I was really hoping, praying even, that it was going to be revealed later that Harit didn't actually rape Soraya. But it wasn't.
It's a Thai drama. I don't know what to tell you.
He really did rape her. And for some reason, Harit starts to fall in love with Soraya after that. What is wrong with these people? Okay, anyway, but he still keeps Soraya on his island and insists on being sentimental about it. Like, about, fucking raping someone. And this is after Harit met the actual Sansani, and he knows for a fact that the woman he kidnapped is named Soraya, so not Sansani. And he still keeps her on the island, guys, okay? He still keeps her on the island. So this is our leading man, everybody. The guy we're supposed to be rooting for.
Well, thankfully... Question mark? Harit eventually lets Soraya go, but he still stalks her after that.
Oh, of course he does. Of course, I mean...
He's a creep.
I mean, how else can you show a girl you love her besides, stalking her?
Oh, God! Anyway, he is also fake courting Sansani for revenge at the same time.
He's busy.
Yep. And once Harit successfully gets Sansani to fall in love with him, Sansani dumps her current boyfriend, Tawachai, and then Harit goes to meet her parents to ask for their blessing. But the thing is, Harit tells them that he wants to ask for Soraya's hand in marriage, not Sansani's. This enrages and confuses everyone in that household. Well, not us though.
Well, yeah, of course we knew. Of course the audience knows. But yeah, anyone in the show would be very confused by this. I mean, you date someone for like, I guess weeks? I have no idea. Like, time is very it's very strange in the show. I have no idea. I have no idea how much time has passed, honestly. But like, he's at least dated her for like at least a couple of weeks, I would assume. And then he comes and is like, "Oh, actually, want to marry your cousin." Like, I mean, of course that's gonna be a shocker. So yeah, Sansani takes this, the hardest, of course, especially because she feels like she has lost to Soraya. And so, Sansani does the very reasonable thing of traveling all the way to Soraya's childhood home and pushes Soraya into the very pond where she had supposedly saved her life when they were kids.
Very normal.
Great. Yeah, very reasonable reaction. Yes. And so Harit heroically, for the first time in the show, jumps into the pond and saves Soraya. I think this is the only actual like heroic thing he's done. Like, actually, well, I mean, I think he does save her another time from drowning, but this was also due to him, like, capturing her and enslaving her. So I don't count those things.
Actually, the first time he actually quote unquote saved her was when Buntai pushed her like into the ocean or something.
Yeah,
but
but I don't count that because it's his fault. She's in the situation.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't count that. Sorry, I don't count it because he, if he hadn't have enslaved her, she wouldn't have been in that situation. Like, this is the one time. Well, actually, never mind. You know what? No, actually,
let's discuss this later.
Yeah. But like, the thing is, even this though, it's still his fault.
Yep.
Because he fake dated. It's all his fault.
Yep.
But anyway, he heroically jumps into the pond and saves Soraya. And after that, it's revealed that the person who saved Soraya from drowning all those years ago was actually not Sansani, but Soraya's childhood friend, Nikul. Shocker.
Yep. Who would have known?
So, I know, who would have guessed Sansani was not someone who actually would save someone. So Soraya is shocked to find this out and ends up leaving. Harit finally says he can find it in his heart to forgive someone like Sansani. Oh, good for him.
Can you find it in your heart to forgive someone like him?
I don't know. No, I can't. And Tawachai decides not to pursue Sansani anymore, leaving Sansani screaming into the sky.
The last scene. Whew, this is cringy. The last scene shows Harit submitting to Soraya as her prisoner or slave, whatever he says.
Sure. Yeah. Quotes. In quotes.
Soraya makes Harit do almost everything he did to her. Keyword being almost.
Yes. Oh yeah, that's a big keyword. Yeah. Make sure you bold that. Italicize. Like
in the subtitles, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And in the very last scene, oh god, Harit pretends to fall from a chair and onto Soraya on the bed, the same bed where he raped her. And like, and their final kiss, it was a fade out the exact same way the rape was. Like that was somehow as unacceptable. And like, the most infuriating thing is that there was no raping in the original novel that this series was based on. And that novel came out in like the 1960s.
So then why did they even include that in the 2008 remake? The 2008 remake.
I mean, it could be to follow the trend of rapey male leads. It's a thing. But like, I honestly have no idea.
Ew. Speaking of like, rapey, you mentioned a slap kiss trope that is popular in Thai dramas. I really hadn't heard of it actually until you told me about it. Oh. Could you explain it? Explain what it is for our listeners?
Sure. I mean, The slap kiss is when the female lead slaps the male lead because he's such an asshole. Then the male lead kisses her in retaliation, like it's supposed to be romantic or something. And like this isn't consensual non-consent either. Like this is a man forcing a kiss on a woman as if his magical lips can make her like obedient.
Magical lips.
I mean, better than magical vagina, but yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so that's really gross. Really, really gross. But honestly, it sounds like the dynamics between the lead male and female characters in most popular Hollywood movies in like the 1940s and 50s.
What?
I mean, pretty much all of them were like that. I mean, hell, I'm sure you can even find American movies today that still do this trope in some form or another, you know. Ugh. I mean, it's like, oh, slap a guy, hit a guy, but then, oh, he kisses you. Like, ugh.
Ugh. I mean, like, I know Hollywood isn't perfect. I know it's
Oh God, no. Oh,
it's
how much time you
unethical
got?
in many ways.
How much time you
But
got?
like I did not expect this.
Oh, really? Oh God. Like I totally am just like, yeah, this is like what we see, especially in the older stuff. I mean, nowadays usually they try, but even nowadays I still think it happens in movies. I definitely have seen movies where it's like, you know, the male and female lead or like, you know, they hate each other or whatever, and I'm sure there's something where like the female lead slaps like the guy cuz you know, it's acceptable for women to hit men cuz you know, we're so weak and fragile, right? But like, you know, but like, you know, usually the guy, you know, I mean, he's not supposed to hit the woman usually, because if he does, then he's bad, right? Which, you know, yeah, that's not good. You shouldn't hit people like that. But usually it's not taken seriously, and it's like, okay, well, this is my chance to like, you know, kiss her, because you know, like, I guess she's a, you know, weak woman who I want to bang, so. Let's kiss now. Like I don't know. I mean, that's what
you know
happens.
what? Things are getting a little mucky around here. So let me bring in some light, eh? Oh God, this is a very hard transition, but I'm gonna introduce you to Nagoya's very own Mei Choo Choo.
But with Tanya, I thought she was having her break. With the pandemic still going on in Japan and all.
Well, Faith, good thing we have the internet, right?
We wouldn't be here if we didn't have that. Oh.
Exactly. Mei Choo Choo is also on the internet, believe it or not.
Oh yeah! And we were just recently featured on her awesome show, Choo Tuesday.
Oh yeah, I remember. And you can watch it as well as other shows by Mei Choo Choo on YouTube.
Just search for Mei Choo Choo and let her brighten your Tuesdays.
Accidental kiss. Back to the podcast. Now that we've recapped the story, and this is a bit of an awkward question to ask, but what do you think the overall message was, like, of this drama?
Message. I don't think I even want to know what kind of message they were going for here, because every lesson I took away from this drama was god awful. Lesson number 1. Tolerate abusive men, because one day you could win their heart and change them for the better. Lesson 2. Women who aren't self-sacrificing, submissive, and obedient servants are loose and therefore bad. And lesson number 3. Blaming others for all your problems actually does pay out in the end.
Oh, that's it? It's just I'm surprised you didn't add marry your rapist to that wicked list.
Now I'm gonna have to add that too. Lesson 4, marry your rapist, ladies. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, yeah, you watched this when it first aired, right? I think you said that?
Yes, I did.
Did you get any kind of message from it?
Like mother, like daughter, maybe? I mean, Sansani and Soraya are carbon copies of their mothers. Their fathers are either emotionally neglectful or dead. And the lesson sounds positive, but like I was a kid. The math says I was 11 when I watched it.
Wow.
And fun fact, this drama was rated 13 plus, but anyone of any age can watch it as long as they're accompanied by an adult.
What? No freaking way. So like a freaking 2-year-old could watch this crap?
Yeah, I mean if they're with someone older than 13. Yeah.
Oh my, okay. Okay, so yeah, this show is not suitable for children. Okay, so they don't actually show, like, they don't show the rape scene on screen. Thank God.
Thank
But,
God.
I know, thank God. But it's still a part of the story. And, like, it's a huge part of the story. And she still ends up falling in love with and marrying her rapist. That is not the kind of lesson I want to teach any, children. I don't want them to learn that.
Well, I mean, that's not the kind of lesson I want anyone to learn. Like, I don't want anyone to think that. But for some reason, this is like a thing in many Thai dramas. And I wish they would just end this trope already.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't know it was a thing because it's my first Thai drama. Don't know if that's a good thing or not.
I don't think it's a good thing. Maybe I should have suggested something else, but
well, you know what? No, it's good because now the bar is already low. It can only go up from here. Okay, it can only go up from here.
Are you sure?
Yeah. I mean, I have to say that I don't know what else to say. I'm sorry. Like,
okay. I mean, yeah. Let's be in denial for now.
Yes. It's gonna get better. All right. So then, I could talk about forever. Like, really, I could literally take this entire podcast episode. I could talk forever about how much bad I think this drama has brought into the world. But we have to move on to the main course of this podcast, the representation. So, first up is gender. We would like to start off with the women. There are many notable female characters in the series, who we have grouped into 3 main categories: the princesses, the semi-extras, and the bad girls.
Princess is actually the English term that I use to describe the typical heroine archetype in Thai drama series. The Thai term would be nang ek, but that just means heroine or female lead. Princesses have every single aspect of what the ideal Thai woman should be, or at least by super traditional standards. But mainly they must be a virgin until marriage and be good at domestic work.
I guess it's okay to lose their virginity to rape by their future husbands, though?
Well, unfortunately, the princesses agree. The princesses of Love Slave are Soraya, the literal heroine, and Saang, her mother.
A princess is feminine and pure, but also tough and works hard. Being tough seems to be a commonality in most female protagonists in Asian dramas.
Definitely. And a princess also respects her parents, elders, and ancestors, even though they're already dead and everything. That's the definition of ancestors, right?
I mean, okay.
But yeah, she is also usually religious. Soraya prays on her mother's lap, and Saang is the only actively religious person in the series. And apparently that's what defines a good person. Yeah.
That is really interesting. Yeah, anyway, next, we have the semi-extras. They have names and appear in the drama quite often. So they're technically characters, but we never really learn much about them. So the semi-extras of the series are Sai Samon, Doi.
Doi.
I never... Doi. I can never get that name right.
It's
Doi.
okay.
And Gao.
Gail.
Gail.
Yes.
Gail.
Yes.
Oh, God, it's hard.
It's okay. Sai Samon. Yes. These are nicknames. You are lucky. Sai Samon is the only first name that you get here.
Okay.
But anyway, Sai Samon, Sansani's mother, is pretty much the evil stepmother in this Cinderella-esque story. Tei, the maid, is one of the few genuinely kind characters in the story, but she's always gossiping, which happens to be a common stereotype about women and maids. Two birds with one stone, I guess.
Hey, why discriminate against one group of people when you can do two at the same time? Am I right? Anyway. Gail.
Yes.
Gail is the only female worker on Hadith's pearl farm who gets a name and lines. But her whole purpose is being pregnant and having a baby.
Like how some people see women? Sounds about right.
Okay. Anyway, both the princesses and the semi-extras are very different from the characters in the last category, the bad girls.
And because they're the bad girls, we're gonna pick them apart one by one. You know, I kind of want to keep the best for last. What do you say, Faith?
I mean, yeah. And if you've seen the series, you know who we're talking about.
Most definitely. So, let's start with Buntai, who is the typical bad girl archetype of Thai dramas. Buntai is Hadith's ex-girlfriend. The English subs say ex-wife, but it's actually one of those things that got lost in translation. So, the words they actually used were pua and mia, which do mean husband and wife respectively, but not necessarily by law. Pua mia is used to imply two people had sex outside of wedlock.
That's a very specific term.
Mm-hmm. And it's only in Thai. In Lao, it's all grouped into the same category. But that's that aside. The only time Sami Panaya or lawful husband and wife was used was when Sansani asked if Chanida and Tawachai are husband and wife by law.
I was wondering why the sub said ex-wife. I really thought Buntai and Hadith had been married. So Buntai is always hanging around Hadith's place, but doesn't seem to want him to know that she's there. It's eventually revealed that Hadith banished Buntai from his island when he caught her and an employee of his sleeping together. So Buntai doesn't have any female friends and only seems to care about Hadith and a little bit about Hadith's manservant, Bai.
We found out partway through the story that Buntai and Bai have a sexual relationship with each other. I mean, she uses that to control and manipulate him, but that aside, Buntai is portrayed as a loose woman. But, I'm kind of glad that it doesn't stop her from trying to pursue Hadith.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next we have Chanida. Chanida is an employee at Tawachai's company and his former love interest. Chanida is in love with Tawachai and even goes as far as hiring a thug to assault Sansani for dating him. It is said throughout the show that Chanida is apparently a skilled worker, but we mostly see her just giving Sansani jealous looks or plotting ways to get Tawachai back.
I mean, there's one scene where we get to see Chanida work, but that was just a setup.
Scene.
One scene, yes, but it was also a setup for Sansani to destroy her work. And of course that provokes Chanida to be hostile, right? But
yeah, of course.
she physically attacked Sansani at their shared workplace, which leads her to being fired by the guy that they were also banging. But anyway, that aside, Chanida is the only other female character besides Sansani seen driving a vehicle.
Yeah. Also, they're the only two female workers at that company.
That's true. Yeah, Tawachai has a problem. But we're gonna discuss him later.
Finally, we have Sansani, my official Thai drama girl crush. Although she is an awful person who only cares about herself, she is also a confident woman who's comfortable with being sexual and knows exactly what she wants. The other characters often try to shame Sansani for dating a lot of men, being looks obsessed, and the heinous crime of driving as a woman.
Sansani is the polar opposite of Soraya. Sansani doesn't respect her elders, doesn't want to do things the traditional way, and is quite independent and individual.
Oh no!
The drama frames these traits as bad, and every character constantly reminds us of how we're not supposed to like Sansani because of those traits.
I think most of those scenes actually made me like Sansani more. I was like, that's exactly how I want to be. Like, but seriously though, what's up with most women not driving in this show? Like, even women aren't allowed to drive boats, apparently. Like, you never see one. You never see a woman driving a boat in the show.
I don't think so. Yeah, even Buntai, like, and then she apparently like grew up there. But driving or controlling a vehicle is it's seen as a masculine trait, I think. But like in real life though, like I don't think gender actually plays a role in like whether or not you get to drive. I think that's more about like privileged and class, stuff like that.
Yeah, actually now I wonder, is it because like all of the people in the Phuket, the Phuket island, like Hadith's island, like, is it because they're all poor? Is that why they can't drive? I mean, but the thing is, the guys can still though. They still could drive though. So
yeah, and they could drive boats.
Yeah,
but they didn't let like the women drive.
Yeah,
boats.
They wouldn't let them do it. So I don't know what the issue was there. It was very strange to me.
To me too.
Yeah, it was very strange to me because I was like, I know Buntai was like, oh, I gotta get to Hadith, gotta get back to Hadith, but it was like, okay, why don't you just drive a boat?
But she had to get someone to drop her off.
Yeah, I was like, why don't you just learn how to drive? I mean, you've lived here all your life, right? You should know how to drive a boat at least. You live on islands, like, I feel like it's a very useful skill that she just, doesn't. No woman seems to bother to learn, which I find quite strange. But oh well. Oh, and this is not related to one particular character, but all the women in this show are always seen in full makeup, even when they're sleeping. And, like, even though we know in the real world that sleeping with makeup on is horrible for your skin, this is consistently the case for female characters in TV shows and movies all over the world. Not just Thailand, but, like, everywhere. And so it really puts the unrealistic beauty standards that these women have to uphold on full display. Even these naturally gorgeous women who, had to be very physically attractive to get these roles, still have to always wear makeup.
It's a worldwide problem, and I feel like we should like start letting people not wear full makeup all the time. I mean, a bit of makeup is probably like, I guess, necessary because like it's a movie and everything, you gotta look good.
Yeah, but
like,
sometimes it helps like with like lighting. I know sometimes too. Sometimes if you don't have makeup on,
I heard about
you
that,
get kind of like washed out or something like that. So I mean, I'm not against wearing makeup, of course not. But yeah, maybe.
But full makeup
all the
with
time,
like
all the time.
Colorful eyeshadow, stuff like that.
Every single scene, all the time, no matter what. Especially Sansani, like, always had this really colorful, like, pink eyeshadow, which looked great, because everything looked great on her. But, she always had it on, like, every scene. Like, she was in the bed, she had this full makeup on, and she's like, oh, I'm going to bed. I'm like, okay, sure.
Even Soraya, who is apparently kidnapped and left on an island.
Yes.
She still has full makeup
she's like in the middle of freaking nowhere, has no access to makeup because Hadi did not like buy her a makeup. Like, I'm pretty sure he didn't buy her any makeup. And so, like, he got her some clothes, thank God, but like he didn't get her any makeup. So how is she able to keep that look up? Like, how is she able to keep that mascara and like full eyeshadow and like, she's got some kind of lip gloss, something going on there too, like, she just, foundation, everything, like, all that stuff is on, and like, how is she able to keep that and maintain that? Like, it makes no sense in the world, like in the drama, like, it makes no sense. But like, we're supposed to just like, you just suspend our disbelief because it's like, well, she's just this attractive all the time, and I mean, she's gorgeous, of course, but she does not look like that naturally. Like, that is not a natural way a human looks. Like, it's just not possible.
Yeah, it's we can talk all
Oh,
day
yeah.
all
Oh,
day
yeah.
about this.
Of course we could.
But we have to move on.
Yeah. So let's move on to the depiction of men in the series. We also grouped them into three main patterns: the hopeless romantics, the devotees, and the narrator.
The hopeless romantics include Harin, Tawachai, Nukun, and Suparet. These characters believe in the power of love and would do anything for the person they love.
So in the opening scene, we are shocked to see Harin take his own life with Harit's gun right before our very eyes. Harin does this because he can't be with the love of his life, Sansini.
Tawachai is the boss of the travel company that Sansini works at and is also her primary love interest for most of the story. I mean, up until she meets Harin, you know. At the end of the story, Tawachai decides not to date Sansani anymore after her true nature is revealed.
Nakul is Soreya's childhood friend and official backup guy of the series. Nakul is kind, considerate, and seems to really care about Soreya, but Nakul is also the only person who actively searches for Soreya when she goes missing. Like, not even her mother does that for some reason.
Yeah, because women are not supposed to be active and all of that BS.
Oh.
Anyway, Suparat is Sansani's father and Surya's uncle. He is one of the few genuinely kind characters in the show, and although Suparat would traditionally be considered the head of the house, the drama frames him as powerless to stop non-traditional bad women.
Ooh.
You know, like his wife and daughter. He doesn't like how his wife and daughter treats Soraya, but he never really does anything about it.
Yeah, he really doesn't.
Yeah, he only like side eyes Sansani.
Yeah. He's like the king of side eyes in the show.
Yep.
All right, next we have the devotees: Bai, Viset, Kawin, Tim, and Y. These characters devote their lives to someone or something, for good or for bad.
Yeah.
Mostly bad, actually.
Mostly bad, yeah.
Never mind.
But anyway, Bai is Harit's personal servant. We don't know much about Bai's backstory, but he is extremely loyal to Harit. Yeah, I mean, we would have wanted like a Bai backstory.
Yeah.
I'd
watch that version.
Spin-off.
That drama. Let's get a Bai drama.
Yeah.
Bai drama.
my This is sidetracking, but my gay ears just heard like bi as in bisexual drama. But moving on.
Well, we could get a bi drama.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if bi would be bi, but
Hey, he could be whatever you make
exactly.
him. Okay.
But yes, Bai follows all of Harit's orders and endures all of his abuse.
Viset is the quote-unquote bad guy of the series. I mean, I think that's debatable, but anyway, Viset is apparently Harit's business rival who devotes his life to trying to destroy Harit.
Gawin, Tim, and Y are employees at Harit's Pearl Store, Hotel, and Pearl Farm in Phuket. All three of them are extremely loyal to Harit and often cite Harit's good deeds. We don't know much about their personal lives because working for Harit is their collective identity in this drama.
That's so sad.
It's very sad.
It's so sad.
But that's
all
what
your life is.
Yeah, that's what the drama is. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Everything revolves around Harit. Oh my god. Okay. So Y also, he ends up hitting his son to teach him not to steal from Harit. You know, everything's about Harit. He doesn't even get a scene with his son where he could just be his son. You know, literally the son's there just so they can like blame him for stealing something and he can get punished. That's it. Like he has no other purpose. And so I think that it's interesting. You know, this is a very interesting thing to me was that there are parallels between Y's son and Harin. So why Sun is punished for stealing pearls from Harit to impress a girl. So during the punishment, Harit looks on and wishes he could have taught Harin the same lesson, which seems to be women aren't worth it.
Oh, women aren't worth it. Bros before hoes.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's the lesson I got from it. That's all I got from it. I don't know what
Except
else.
the woman that you fell in love
Yes.
with after raping. Oh God. And as you said, Faith, if you've been feeling like this drama revolves around Harit, you'd be right. Because Harit is the narrator of this story.
That explains the sexy jazz music when Soraya is suffering.
And also the inappropriately timed music throughout the series.
Yeah. Harit is the male lead of the series. Harit starts off the series as a mysterious and violent man fueled with rage towards Sansani. Harit loves Harin and wants to find a scapegoat for his suicide. Harit kidnaps, imprisons, abuses, and rapes Soraya against her will. Of course, that's what rape is. Even after he apparently falls in love with her and knows she isn't Sansani, he still tries to keep her on the island, his private island. However, Harit is portrayed as a generous and kind business owner who cares about the environment and the livelihood of the locals.
Oh, God. Yeah, the reason we call Harit the narrator is because this series is his own narrative of being the hero that saved the savages of the South. Oh God, that is so problematic. But in fact, it was purely Harit being privileged. Well, in the 2008 remake in a way. The theme song, Jam Loey Rak, is specifically written for this series, and it does point out the hypocrisy in Harit's character. However, the music is often inappropriately played in certain scenes.
Most notably, when Soraya is suffering, a very sexy jazz version of the theme song is played in the background, suggesting that the narrator finds Soraya's suffering sexy.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Also, after Harit apparently falls in love with Soraya, another theme song is added. The second theme song is about how someone is willing to devote their whole life to someone they love forever.
Oh God. I mean, the songs are amazing, but I really don't know if it is this, the first song maybe, because it points out that Harit is a huge hypocrite, but the second song, I don't think it's really appropriate for this drama.
For a rapist.
Yeah, it's I would love you even if I'm in hell, or even if we both go to heaven, or even if we're apart and everything like that. And I'm I would rather you not be close to
I think you've been close enough. I think the problem is that you were too close. I think that's been the whole problem this entire time, is that you always there, always stalking her, always keeping her captive. So she has to be with you forever? Don't doom her to that existence, I mean, we know you're going to go to hell for all the stuff you've done, but don't bring other people down with you.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna bring everyone down with him.
Seems like he is. He's gonna bring everyone down with it. It's just in the drama frames this as a good thing, or oh, this is what we should like.
No.
Ew.
But yeah, moving on. Like the previous episode, there is no representation of other genders.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. Before we move on to the next section, I would like to give a special shout out to my favorite characters in Love Slave. Intersectional feminist icons, Snake and Squirrel!
Wait, what about the chimpanzee, Gayu?
Absolutely not. Fuck that monkey, man.
Oh, okay.
No. Gayu ratted Soraya out to Harit, okay? Alright?
Okay.
He is not an ally, okay? He is not a feminist ally. He is just, no. He is bad. He supports the man. No, not.
Yeah, I mean, he is A snitch,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Because
totally rats her out.
snitches on everyone.
Yeah. But look, Sonia is literally being imprisoned and enslaved, and she tries to escape, and Gayu's the reason why she gets caught. He rats her out. No. No.
So if you want to hate on a chimpanzee, watch Love Slave.
Yeah. Oh God, please don't tell him that. Oh God. That sounds awful. But seriously though, the snake, I'm for real, the snake and the squirrel were the only completely unproblematic characters in this show. Like, seriously, they did nothing wrong. And like, there were scenes where the snake was supposedly like threatening or whatever, but we never actually we never actually see it harm anyone on screen. Like, never. Like, they never show it actually harming anyone. Everyone just freaks out and backs away from it, but it just continues to mind its own business. Totally unbothered. What an icon.
And what about the squirrel?
Well, the squirrel was, there in a few scenes, but, just looking cute. And what could be more iconic than that?
Well, I can't argue with that logic. And that's the end of the first half of our second episode.
Please continue on to the second half, where things get more intense.
Much more intense.
Ugh.
Either way, thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thanks so much. To make sure you're always up to date on our latest episodes, please subscribe to or follow Accidental Kiss on your favorite podcast app and YouTube.
If you would like to contact us, please email us at kiss.accidental@gmail.com.
Oh, also, please follow and reach out to us on all the socials. We would love to hear from you.
Let us know if you have any other Asian drama series you'd like to hear us cover on the show. Your suggestion might make it into a future episode.
Stay tuned for the second part of this episode, where we'll be continuing our discussion on the representation in Jam Loey Rak, or Love Slave.
Until then, see you!
See you!
Stuck in an elevator where everything's a miss, forced to marry the first guy you accidentally kiss, betrayed by your only friend, so she can get the guy. The reasons above and more are why. The way we feel about Asian dramas is just so complicated. It is so complicated.